Pacific Coast Highway back in 2022. Gosh, I almost said 2002. This feeling has been happening a lot. Anyway, I love the Pacific Coast Highway very much, and I was kind of just driving along. It was around Big Sur, and I thought, wow, this road is called the One. I'm on the One. And so I just started riffing on the idea. And it was about a week after that I ended up meeting my partner, who I'm with now. And it was wonderful. So it just it was a good feeling. And if you may not catch the words, they're kind of complicated, but if you feel like singing along, that would be great. By the way, this instrument is called a kora, a West African instrument. So the one can be a road, though the road fades to a path, though the path fades in the sun, though the sun burns it to ash, still the ash it goes to soil, still the soil it goes to song, so the song comes to us all, so we all come to the One. So the one can be a road, though the road fades to a path, though the path fades in the sun, though the sun burns it to ash, still the ash it goes to soil, still the soil it goes to song, so the song comes to us all, so we all come to the One. It's the slow way the season turns and turns. The slow way the fever burns. The old waves fall to the stern. And the new ways are still unlearned. So the one can be a road, though the road fades to a path, though the path fades in the sun, though the sun burns it to ash, still the ash it goes to soil, still the soil it goes to song, so the song comes to us all, so we all come to the One. So the one can be a road, though the road fades to a path, though the path fades in the sun, though the sun burns it to ash, still the ash it goes to soil, still the soil it goes to song, so the song comes to us all, so we all come to the One. Thank you so much.
Good morning, every day.
Good morning.
boy. I am so excited to see all of you this morning. Thank you, Robbi, so much for that exquisite contribution to this service. You know, it's interesting that you would talk about Highway 1 this morning. Denise and I were having a conversation about the road to Hana, which is on Maui, and it's kind of its own Highway 1. Mm-hmm. It's this really magical drive through green like you've never seen, but the real magic on the road to Hana is if you go past Hana. And most people tell you not to do that. Isn't that interesting? They tell you there's nothing to see once you get past Hana, and you know, there's none of the greenery, there's none of the lushness, there's none of all of this stuff. Well, you just go ahead and try to tell us not to take a road, and we'll never forget it. Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't the road to Hana. It was the road past Hana. The discovery was beyond. Mm-hmm. And your songs spoke so beautifully to that. So thank you again. Now, I bet you thought I was going to talk about Maui this morning, but I'm not. And since there's a couple of people in the room, at least, that I haven't seen for at least a week, I just want to remind you that I'm Rev Ann Rea, and as Denise said, this is the place where it's at. This is the Everyday Center for Spiritual Living, and I get to play in the same sandbox as all of you wonderful people, whether you are joining us this morning online or you're here in person. And I am so grateful, so grateful. So, give more, have more, huh? That may sound like another faith tradition that you may have known from the past, trying to find a way to get you to increase your contributions. Well, actually I am doing that. The contributions that I'm asking you to increase, though, are the contributions to yourself. Clara, don't make it warmer in here. Please.
Just stand back.
The contributions to yourself. The class that we're beginning today, and I'm not spending my whole talk talking about that, I just want to give you a little understanding of the journey that we are starting this afternoon, is recognizing that your life is a masterwork, a creative masterwork, and that prosperity is not just about money.
Right.
Now, it is about money, and there are a lot of people who think that it's only about money. Mm-hmm. When you're talking about prosperity, you're only talking about money. Well, that's not the only thing I'm talking about. I'm talking about prosperity in every area of our lives. Right. Because prosperity, to me, is delicious. It is a, oh, aren't you too cute? It is a, I have two people sitting in the back of the room just holding each other because they're both cold. And I won't let them adjust the temperature in here because I'm not. Prosperity is delicious. Prosperity is, we talk a lot about awe, right? Wonder, noticing, being present, the importance of bringing our presence. Oh, and now someone is covering them with a scarf. Now see, that's prosperity. And that is nurturing.
Yes.
Right? That's exactly what Carol was talking about. Prosperity, the feeling of being prosperous and of knowing prosperity gives us the largesse to feel and to see and to notice and to hear and to engage with a bigger life.
Mm-hmm.
A life that feels richer. Now, some of us may have grown up in a family where the word rich was considered negative. You know, those people down the road. Well, they're rich. And they think they're hot stuff. And, okay, let's all agree it's been a long time since the people who spoke those lies to us have been in our life.
Right.
Let's agree to get over it.
Yes.
And give ourselves our own definition of what feels rich. So, of course, I have to share with you a story. We were treated last night to an absolutely incredible dinner by these friends of ours who didn't know what else to do for us to celebrate our move. Even though they're not happy that we moved further away from them, they wanted to celebrate our move, and so they took us for this fabulous dinner to Market Steer Steakhouse. Oh yeah, Patty. I'm not going to tell you about the whole dinner. I am going to tell you about the s'mores at the end. Homemade in their very own kitchen, graham crackers. Homemade in their very own kitchen, marshmallows that were this big. And the chocolate was Hershey's, which I just loved because that was the perfect touch, right? You're in this very elegant restaurant. You have all this cool stuff going on. Oh, and we had this little hibachi in the middle of the table. Little tiny thing that we got to roast our marshmallows over right there at the table. Have I gotten your attention yet with richness?
Yes.
With what's delicious?
And joyful.
With what's prosperous? With what's joyful? And we were being nurtured. nurtured. Our friends were nurturing us, congratulating us on this change in our lives. And by the way, the s'mores were ridiculous. They were so fabulous. Fabulous. Anyway, it shows up in our lives in so many ways if we are looking, if we're open, if we're willing. Stephen had richness show up in his life by a cancellation of the inspection. Ruth had richness show up in her life, thank God, finally, by receiving her building permit. It shows up in so many ways. If we take the dollar sign away, which maybe up until now has been our defining measure, if we take that dollar sign away and we just notice, what do we see, what do we hear, what do we feel, what do we experience that makes our life feel richer, that can shift our morning from whatever it was to a place where we actually are in a whole different place. It's like we've been picked up and dropped off in Happy Land, where that isn't necessarily where we woke up. Maybe we were carrying something from the day before. So expanding our idea of what prosperity is and what it means to prosper and what it means to feel prosperous. I had someone say to me this morning, I'm not taking your class because I'm already the queen of prosperity.
Yay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's no reason not to take the class, but anyway, last week I spoke about recognizing the difference between wanting change in our life, wanting positive change in our life, and actually feeling ready for it. 5 people remember. Okay, so for those of you who don't remember, last week I spoke about the difference between desiring change, positive change, expansion, whatever it is, peace of mind in our life, and actually feeling ready for it. And it's possible that we never even considered that that might be required. But it's sort of like buying a new sofa. If you haven't figured out what you're doing with the sofa that's in the place where the new one's going, what are you going to do with the new one when you get it? You're not going to have a place for it. Having a place, making room in us is what's required. I'm not talking about making room in our bank accounts, because I'm sure there's plenty. I'm I'm not talking about making room in our ideas about what it is that would make our life feel richer. What I'm talking about is giving ourselves permission to receive. Now, there's this thing about giving and receiving. Giving, we all give in the ways that we give. We all give to support this community. We give to support other things. We may be supporting others in our family. We all give. We give of our attention. We give of our money where we can. We all give. But the receiving part can be a little challenging. Because not all of us, the same little ones who grew up hearing about the bad rich people down the street also may have grown up hearing things about not being worthy, not being deserving. And it can be subtle. Who do you think you are? That you should have whatever it is, or that you should become whatever it is. Who do you think you are? Well, of course, at that time we didn't know to say, let me tell you. Let me tell you who I am. You want to know who I am? I'd be happy to tell you who I am. Because that's the juiciest question in the world. Not what do I do, but who am I? Because I am here to embody and reveal the life of the one. That's who I am. So I do it as a minister. I do it as a friend. I do it as a partner. I do it as a colleague. I do it in lots of different ways. But that's who I am. That is my purpose. And for those of us who have spent a lot of money and possibly a lot of time researching how to find your purpose, that's it. I just gave it to you. We are all here to reveal that life as us, uniquely as us, in the unique ways that we have, in the unique ways that we do, but we aren't here to do it poorly.
Right.
Amen.
We aren't here to do it without resources.
Exactly.
Because for heavens to Betsy's sakes, we have every resource we could possibly ever need.
Right.
Ever. Ernest Holmes wasn't kidding when he said, whatever I need, whenever I need it, will always be at hand for as long as I need it. He wasn't just making stuff up. He spoke those words with a conviction of the centuries of truth that he had spent his life studying. So that's what he had to say about it.
find it this morning.
If you know it.
So let's put these pieces together. If we're here to live and reveal this life as us, and we are here to do it with all of the resources that are, I'm not just saying available in our material world, because we go way beyond being material girls and boys. All of the resources that are available, all of the possibilities that are available, all of the potential that is available. And the most important word I'm using is all. Because there are no limits except for the ones that we define.
That's right.
There are no limits. And anything that we were told about limits, anything that we may still be being told about limits, anything, any old beliefs that we may be carrying about limits are ridiculous.
Yes.
It's all made up.
That's right. Yeah.
We have been fooled. Our faith has been shanghaied. And now it's time, as the people we are today, to know the difference.
That's right. Yeah.
To say to our faith, to say to our beliefs, to say to whatever it is that we may have invested any fear or doubt into up until this point about having anything that we need. Bye. Done.
Yay.
Done.
Done.
I know the difference now, I would say, to any fear or doubt that may still be hanging around. I know the difference now. I wish you did too. You can. Oh, I meant the doubts and fears. I'm having this conversation with the committee, you know. I wish you knew too. And you can, anytime. It's not something that I am holding secret or precious. It is wide open for everyone, everything, every part of my life, every aspect of my being to know and embrace and accept. So come to the party or don't. But if you're not coming to the party, don't show up. Fear and doubt, don't show up. Find someplace else to be. Go solve world peace. Do something useful. But don't show up in my awareness, because I am done giving you free rent and feeling any confusion or question about the life that I am here to enjoy.
Amen.
Thank you.
It's true for all of us. I'm speaking these words for all of us. There are no exceptions. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I said, we all have our own 100%.
Yeah.
And then I didn't say anything more about it. And I thought I think there were people here who thought, she doesn't usually do that. She doesn't usually just drop something like that and then not, bring it back in. I wonder if she knows. Well, of course, by then I'd already said 5 paragraphs. While all of that was being wondered about where I was going with my talk. But here it is. We all have our own 100% of the pie, of opportunity, of potential, of possibility. We all have our own 100%. How in the world does it make sense that it would be carved up
Right.
Exactly.
any other way? Right?
Right.
I mean, just think about it logically. We're talking about the one life that is all life, that is my life, that is your life, that is the life of everything. How in the world would it be carved up any other way?
Right.
Because it would be its life that's being carved up.
Right.
Okay, I knew it was coming. So I'm hearing now, well, what about the people in the world that don't have so much? That their circumstances are such that they don't have. As we continue to do our work in this philosophy and with this philosophy, notice I said our work, one of the things that we learn is that circumstances do not change the truth.
Right. Right.
So what I'm saying is that the people who are in awful circumstances right now, where their conditions are challenging in ways that we can't even imagine, the circumstances, even though they seem so permanent, the circumstances seem like the authority. The circumstances are not the authority, and they're not permanent.
Right.
Amen.
If all of a sudden we all waved our magic wands, you can all go like this. We all waved our magic wands and peace took over the world.
Yeah.
And everybody shared whatever they had, which is how this world came to be. Everybody shared whatever they had. Do you think for a second anybody would be without anything they needed?
No.
Not for a second. And that can happen in an instant. Even though our brains want to say, our committees want to say, oh, but there's here and there's there and this is happening, and those people and yeah, you're right about all that. And none of that is permanent. There has to be agreement for circumstances to become permanent. And even that doesn't change the truth. It changes the human experience, but it doesn't change the truth.
Yeah.
One of the greatest gifts that we can give, and I'm so surprised that Denise hasn't flagged me by now. One of the greatest gifts that we can give as we're looking at opportunities to give more and have more by just being open to receive more is recognizing what is true about every person we lay eyes on. With kindness, with love, with generosity, just looking in their eyes and knowing the truth about them. Looking in their eyes and loving them deeply. Who cares if we know them or not?
That's right.
We know them. There's a great song, I Know You by Heart. We know them by heart. Well, to that, there is no place to go. We all have our work before us. Whether we do the work in the class or we do the work that shows up for us every day, that calls on our consciousness to make a choice to stay present in the moment and to bring our best to it or not. That's our work. And so it is.
And so it is.
Oh. But wait. My work isn't done yet.
Oh, no.
You know, that's what happens when you change the order of service and then you forget. So if the ushers would join me, please. Now this time, I'm going to scoot you over this way so I can see everybody. Great. This time is our time of conscious giving. And many of us give in very different ways. We may send a check in the mail, we may go to the website and use either link that is there that will give us the opportunity to give that way. We give by our service. Everyone who has participated in any way in putting this service together, and that doesn't just happen on Sunday. It happens all week long. That is all contribution. The important thing about conscious giving is how we do it. Is what's in our hearts, what's in our minds about our giving. And recognizing that this center is completely donor supported. In all of those ways. In all of those ways, we have so much to be grateful for. So will you join me, please, in saying our sharing affirmation? The love of Spirit blesses and multiplies all that I am It's okay, I did too. Divine love, through the spirit of this giving, blesses and multiplies all that is represented here. And as it goes out into the world, it blesses every service provider, every hand that it touches, every life that is supported by it. And so it is.
And so it is.
Do you want something somewhere?
Bring this on over.
Okay.
Thank you for those words. I liked what you said about juicy question. And this song was written for my first child. It's called Who Are You? In the stillness of the night, someone comes to bring you light. See her shine, coming up the other side of the pines, from beyond the meaning of the signs. Who are you? 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 The wonder of a child passing through. Who are you? 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 Our wonder born anew. You, beloved of the world, grow in each of us a pearl. There inside each design, somewhere between the ribs and the spine, see her shine, see her shine. Who are you? 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 The wonder of a child passing through. Who are you? 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 Our wonder born anew. Who are you? 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 The sun is a reflection of you. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?